It's like field research, product
Yeah.
testing. Like it.
Walk away and they go, I didn't like that guy, or I didn't have a thing in common. He didn't relate to me. Now's your chance to get to know these people so you know who to follow, who to go watch, that kind of
like
stuff.
product testing.
Yes. Today's lovely esteemed guest for the hour is Nina Wilder over there in the other box. Yeah, lest you should think I'm Nina Wilder.
And they're both blonde. It's very tricky.
So tricky. And then we got Marilyn Monroe in the background.
Oh, perfect.
You know, I have to cover up. She's too sexy.
Got all the bombshells loading.
Yeah. Let me read you the intro we have of Nina. She says, I began my comedy career in 2009. Nope, that's the wrong one. I'm on the wrong page. Here we go. Let the old lady go. She'll figure it out.
Got it.
Nina Wilder is a multidimensional entertainer who combines theatrics, physical humor, and pure angst I can't read and I should get my glass. Nina Wilder is a multidimensional entertainer who combines theatrics, physical humor, and pure angst into one comical package. She did it. Linda did it. She's an awkward, neurotic millennial, and she wants to be your friend. Who wouldn't love that? Vancouver born and raised. I'm assuming you mean Canada.
Yes.
Nina has opened for Spenny from Kenji versus Spenny during his BC tour.
BC.
Renaissance Man. Is that correct?
Renaissance. So he's playing on his name. Renaissance, Spenny, Renaissance.
Yes. Wow. Josh Adams Myers, you've opened for him. I love him.
He's great. Oh my God. And so friendly too. He actually helped me. He was listening to my set and he's like, oh, this is a good joke. You should add this. I'm like, thank you.
Wow. That's incredible. He's so good. She opened for him at House of Comedy, where she also featured for Michael Ian Black. She says, I am Brianna no, that's the next person. Anyway, I make mistakes. I just made a mistake.
I make many.
This is our guest for today. I'm going to love getting to hear her story. We don't even know how, how did she get to open for all these people? This is amazing. Look at her. She's young and beautiful and funny, and she does theatrics and angst. Oh my gosh, you got to hear about this. You know, the only thing I ever did that was physical was sing the song by Olivia Newton-John, may she rest in peace.
That was a sad loss. And you totally look like you could sing Olivia Newton-John. You got that vibe.
I could do it.
I believe.
Give me a gin and tonic. I can sing anything.
That's great. Well, yeah. How did that happen? I had I hustled since 20. I mean, I wasn't serious about comedy until 2019. And then at the beginning of that year, I just gave her. I even, there wasn't a lot of chances to go up on stage in Vancouver. Despite being a very big city, it's not very geared towards live performance, and I think that's simply because it goes against all the outdoors things that Vancouver's known for. So it's you're going up against beautiful mountains and water and yoga and blah. So I produced shows that I could essentially better my craft, and that even lasted through till COVID. I was producing 5 venues at one point, which was nuts, but it afforded me an opportunity to open for Spenny from that I had a good friend who was booking for House of Comedy, and she kind of kept her eye on me and was watching me kind of work, and then she's like, okay, you've got your chance, so here you are. And I'm like, so yeah, it was kind of rough though. It was one of those times in my life when I had, when you have really good news and really bad news hit you at the same time. So I had just finished my Spenny tour, which was so I was riding this high, and I just got a call from my producer friend saying I've got a chance for you to feature for Michael Ian Black. You can't say no. And I'm like, I'm not going to say no. And the next morning I got a call that my uncle had passed away, and it was just I was in a weird, I was in a weird, like, it was just like one of those like moments when you're looking down at yourself from a bird's eye view, because you're just so like, what the hell is happening? But yeah, but that was that. And yeah, it was a lot.
What was it like opening for Michael Ian Black?
Loved watching him. Because I mean, I really tried to watch. I wanted to afford myself the opportunity of watching a comedian headliner open multiple nights in a row to see what he did to adapt, because I've always nerded out on just sort of the science and the math behind comedy, because it is a craft, right? And there's a lot of like, it seems very casual because it is a conversation at the end of the day, and it's a very organic thing, but it's also a very fine-tuned dancing act. And so I was actually fascinated by Michael Ian Black's process. He started with, obviously he's American, so he was touring Canada and obviously making fun of the fact that he's in New West. Where the fuck is that? And yeah, nobody knows. This is this tiny little town. And yeah, I noticed the first night when some jokes didn't land because they were American reference, which usually works in Canada because like Canada culture is kind of like borrowed from America, but a few didn't land. And then the next night he just adapted them, found an Canadian reference to replace, and then boom, they just popped. And I was like, that's excellent. So that was really cool. And he's a really humble guy. He was also working on his book backstage, which I mentioned to you in the green room, which I found so fascinating. Like that he could just pop in from one mindset to like on his computer, hunched over. He's like, okay, it's time to do comedy now. Like that's insane. Like I have a lot of respect for that man.
Wow. Just think how much, his comedy set must just be an extension of his brain and his arms, for him to put down book writing and just go on stage.
I think that's how he's a headliner, because I'm teaching a comedy course for seniors right now, and I'm telling them like how, because one of them asked me this question where it's like, how do you perform? Do you memorize your material word for word and then deliver? It's like, no, you don't. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like comedy, the way it's written is has to have an economy of words, which ideally you're communicating in that fashion to the audience. Otherwise, if you're rambling or if you skip a beat, then it kind of loses the oomph. But at the end of the day, like you want to let that go and just rely that tell the story from your mind rather than this rote memorization stuff, because it just kills the performance. And Michael Ian Black was a perfect example of that. He had it in his back pocket so tightly that he could surf it, that he could find new references, that he could adapt to audience response. And that's what comedy is. It's so much about the relationship, that your material has to be in the back pocket, obviously, like you have to have material, but more importantly, you have to connect. So that was something he definitely showed.
Yeah, if you can connect, you can kill.
Right? Exactly. I mean, man, some of my best shows, I had to throw my material away because it just didn't, like, I knew it wasn't going to be applicable to the audience. And this is so typical of a Canadian audience. Especially after COVID, I had one show I did, it was one of those seedy bar shows. I've done so many of these. Yeah, it was at this like seedy bar in like a really sketchy area of Vancouver. And there was only 7 guys in the audience, and they're all friends, and they're all young. They were young Irish guys, and just so they were kind of like very dark humor, very like very rough around the edge. It's not that all Irish are, just these guys were. And I'm a very bubbly, like, that's great, like personality. Like, don't get me wrong, I have complaints and stuff, but I'm a very different. I'm this kind of energy. I'm very like, wow. So these guys wanted, like, I noticed the comics they were laughing at most were like, life sucks and this is why. And they're like, pop. I'm like, shit. Like, so I was like, in my mind, I'm like panicking. I'm like, they're not going to respond to like my university like jokes or whatever. So I threw it away and I just started talking to them. And funnily enough, that worked. I found a natural rhythm with them. I was asking them questions, and just as humor works best in natural conversation, this freaking worked. So wow. They even came up to me afterwards, and I was like so proud of myself. I'm like, I did
it. That's incredible. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was a good learning curve story for me.
Oh wow, I love that.
Yeah.
So talk to me about physical comedy.
I think I describe myself that way because I mean, I have an acting background. That was originally the art form I wanted to get into, but I was rejected so many times. And then I found comedy.
There's the angst.
It's frustrating, man. Like I think I screwed myself over because I wanted to be an actor ever since I was little, and I just never felt good enough to really pursue it. And then the one time I decided to apply for an acting school, I got rejected and just thought to myself, well, I'm not an actor then. And I'm like, fucking idiot. Like, why did I just apply to another school? But I didn't. So I dropped it. And then I screwed myself because part of that industry is that you just have to keep going. You just have to keep that momentum going and put yourself in front of faces. And at some point, if you don't do that and you don't have credits behind you, then you're not going to get roles. And particularly in my age group is the most saturated in the market. Like I'm a 30-year-old blonde, Linda. Do you want to know how many of me? Millions. Like some people are 1 in a million. I'm 1 in 20. You know what I mean? So anyways, so that's I have done theater school since then. I have done like a little bit of clown work, and I just naturally I'm a fitness trainer by trade as well. So I'm very much a body movement person. So it's just in me to move.
And so on stage, do you do act outs or physical, like fall on the ground, or what do you do with physical comedy in your set? I'm imagining.
I will. I will do whatever it takes, Linda. I was working on a joke just before I took a little bit of a hiatus the last few weeks. I was talking about how I was single for 10 years before I was in this relationship that I am now for the last 8 months. So a lot of my set is kind of starting to gear towards like navigating what it is to be in a relationship, because this is all new for me. Like I'm used to being solo. And so I talked about how like, like some people say like being single sucks. And I'm like, I didn't find that, So I was working on this bit where I'm like, because people complain, like they ask me like, aren't you lonely? But aren't you lonely when you're single? And I'm like, lonely. Yeah, I guess sometimes I lay in bed at night and I'm like, I'm so lonely. I just start stretching out because it's like sleeping alone is the best. Yeah, I find every opportunity.
I get it. That's hilarious.
Stuff like that, or characterizations. Like, man, like Robin Williams was obviously the king of characterizations, but I love making fun of just the sort of Valley Girl voices. Like whenever, like you really thought you should say that. Like, oh my god, like there's just so much fun you can have with voices and expressions. So I go to town.
Oh, fun! I love that. My comedy coach that I've had for a long time is Vanessa Hollingshead. And she would love you.
Vanessa Hollingston? I'm going to write that down.
Hollingshead.
Wow, what a name.
Yeah. She does a lot of different voices and a lot of act outs. And she's been on HBO and, she's got credits out the yin yang.
Awesome. You hope for that from a coach.
Thank you.
I in Walmart.
Talk to me about teaching seniors, because I'm a senior and I'm in a class with Joe Firestone, who used to be a writer for Jimmy Fallon.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, in her class, she started pitching this scenario of all these seniors, and she's now got a show on the Peacock channel of us people in the class called Good Timing. I didn't make it in because I'm not in New York, but all my friends in the class in New York are in it.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so talk to me about doing comedy for seniors from your point of view.
Well, it started out with when I was still producing shows in Vancouver. I was trying to create more opportunities. I also started a writing group, so a peer writing group, and I invited every comedian that I thought would be a good fit in terms of like offering, because some comedians are very solo, they don't really want to help each other, but others just they find community and comedians, like it's such an unfortunate thing if it's that case, because comedians can really help each other at the end of the day, because you get that luxury of having the third party perspective of hearing other people's material, and you have that comedic brain that you can offer a really good tag or a really good, rewrite of a setup or something like this. So I created a writing group, and I created a Facebook group for it, and it grew to like almost 300 people, and like it was across the board too, like US, Canada, and we would I arranged Zoom meetings, particularly over COVID, every week on Sunday, and we would have a writing jam for like 2, sometimes 3 hours, and that was a good time. And then I thought, oh, this could be fun. Like, what if we do a challenge where we teach like a boot camp class for writing a new 5-minute set? And I had like taken a multiple courses and different coaches and different mentors in comedy. So I thought, like, I'll put together like a little like curriculum to follow, and then practice, and then writing prompts and edits and blah, blah, blah. And then we all did that. And then I produced a show. It sold out and that was at House of Comedy, and that sold out, and that was really great. So then I kind of got addicted to like the teaching of the art form, just because it helps solidify in my brain like that comedic structure. And so I did that. I mentored a few people. Some people hired me as a little writing peer buddy coach. And then from that, when I moved to Calgary, where I am now, I decided, let's just host a writing course. So I grabbed a producer buddy that I met, Tara Buchanan, who produces here. And she's like, yeah, let's do it. So we taught a writing class, and it was a type called Type 5. And from that, this acting club in senior.
Tara's my buddy.
Tara's your buddy. Yeah, that's right. That's how we connect. Yeah, I love her. I would talk her up to death. She is such a wonderful, and she embodies like everything that a hardworking comedian should be. And that's why I really respect her. And oh man, love that girl. Yeah. But anyways, she dropped my name to this FLC acting group. It's like a seniors acting group in Calgary. And they have different courses, improv, acting, and then they wanted to do a stand-up. And so Tara's always she's always so connected. So she's like, you should teach it. And so here I am teaching seniors, and they're fantastic. I love listening to people that have experience make jokes, because they have way more to say, in my opinion. Like they have, I mean, not everyone, obviously some people are born with very crazy experiences, but mostly I feel like older people have more intelligent and more like insightful, funny things to say, which that makes it really fun to work with them.
They can be dirty at 7 a.m.
Oh, they can. Oh my God. This one of them, Jim Haycock, he's like, of course he's making fun of his name. He's like, my name's Haycock. Like, it's the emphasis on the hay, but I would prefer it elsewhere. Like, it's just so fun.
Oh my God. It's so fun. It's fun to be in a class with other seniors. It inspires me to see them still out there performing. And we have shows on Zoom quite a lot,
Oh, nice.
Zoom shows.
Yeah.
It's fun. Yeah.
I think it's important to see and be around people that you can relate to in comedy. I think that's where some people make the mistake of like, oh, that person isn't funny. And I'm like, were they not funny, or did you just not relate to her because you're a man and she's a woman? Or whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I question.
I know. People saying somebody else isn't funny is like, you know what? It's subjective. To you,
it is.
Maybe somebody else is. Yeah. Anyway, what is it that you want to accomplish in the rest of your life? Say you find out today's your last day or your last month.
Oh my God.
What do you got to accomplish?
Do I want like one day left? I'm gonna eat as much as possible.
Bring out the angst.
food driven. Yeah, that's a great question. I think ultimately, if I had to nail down an answer now, I would say to find and share a means to have confidence. I think that's been my ultimate journey, because I have such a history of bottling up feelings. Like I'm very animated with you because I'm excited, but like on a normal basis, I'm so shut down and so kept to myself and so quiet. I'm an introvert, was bullied in school, like very much a people pleaser. And I think all of that led to all this. I think that's where the angst and the energy comes from, because it's like, I have so much to say, and I've been so hurt time and time again because I've never said anything. I've never stood up for myself. I've never been able to have someone's attention to say my opinion in a full sentence before I get cut off. You know what I mean? I've had so many of that experience where it's like the delight of having a microphone and people listening to me is so thrilling. And I just like, I can't help but like all this energy just like comes out of me.
That's fabulous.
Yeah. And if I can share that with every other fucking woman on this planet to like make her voice heard, to stand up to every situation, to make her feel like glam, that's my fucking mission.
Oh, that is so cool. So cool. Yeah. My whole life, I was brought up by parents that survived the Holocaust.
Holy moly. Holy moly, Linda.
I know.
Drop that bomb on me.
I know. And I'm in a Jewish family that only lets the men really have an opinion and say it. And so, like, imagine how I must feel that people are actually listening to me and not shutting me up or calling me a bitch because I have an opinion.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, they still will because there's hecklers, but you get the microphone, you can shut them up. That's awesome. Yeah, and I love hearing comics like that. Like, I'm thrilled to watch women dominate on stage, and or just any it doesn't have to be a woman necessarily, but any person that has had lived a life of oppression and suppression of their mind and spirit and body, like watching someone two-spirited take the stage, watching a gay guy take the stage, watching, whatever. And it's just like, yeah, fucking own it, go.
Exactly.
I love it.
I think when a person has really suffered, and I'm not talking about like, you grew up and you had a 2-parent family and they, your biggest struggle was that you didn't like your sister. I'm talking about real struggles,
Mm-hmm.
People have really struggled. Their comedy is funnier.
Holy moly. Yeah. Yeah. I've actually, funnily enough, I've signed, I'm an online coach right now as well. And so I've actually, I made the joke the other day on my Facebook. I'm like, I'm signing all these comedians, like, guys, get ready for jacked, funny people. But I was talking to this one woman, and I won't call her out because I protect her identity, but she's someone who she should be performing more than she is. She's someone who's just so naturally funny, and she has worked on her craft, but she just never puts herself out there because she just doesn't feel like she's good enough. But yet I'm talking to her on the phone, and she's telling me about, like, what she's going through, struggles, and it's like, and it's just like, she's going through so much. Like, she's gone through cancer. She's lost her partner. She's got kids that are acting up. She's working 2 jobs. Like, she's got so much shit, and she doesn't take care of herself because it's just like, she has no time. And so she's got all these things going on in her life. And the way she talks about it, she talks about her kids. She's just like, oh, and then, I come home to my dream killers. And I'm like, you're so... just the way she says it is so funny. And you're totally right. Humor is such a thing where it comes from a place of just like, I need to find a way to cope with all the bullshit. Exactly. It's so great. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So where would you like people to follow you on social media?
Oh, yeah, probably social media is the best. So Instagram and Facebook are where I'm most active. I do have a TikTok with way too many followers than I deserve, but I am on TikTok as well. I did one video and it popped off, and then it's just like, I don't know how it happened. I can't even repeat it. Anyway, so Instagram, I'm at It's Anina, kind of like it's an audio. It's Anina. And then Facebook, Nina Wilder. That should be easy.
Very cool. And what are you on TikTok?
I'm at Coach Nina Wilder. It's a lot of fitness. It's fitness humor mostly. I think it's because I've married comedy and fitness, because those are the 2 things I do the most. But yeah.
Super. And what do you have coming up that people can go all the way to Calgary and watch?
Oh man. Yeah. I'm on a show next week, which is I'm calling it my birthday show, even though it's not on the strict day. But I'm at the it's called the Tiny Comedy Show, because it's Canada. And that's at the oh gosh, what's it called? The Riviera Hotel. So
At the Riviera Hotel? That sounds huge.
Little Italian. Oh, no, it's not as glamorous as I'm making it sound. It's a little Italian restaurant. Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Well, what would you like to say in closing if you had up to 5 minutes to talk to one person that might be watching that you think could be hurting or needs encouragement from a comedian's point of view, how to cope with life, with comedy, with the world, whatever? What would you like to say?
Oh, I would say, life is going to throw a lot of things at you that make you feel like shit. And it's very easy to get caught up in that mindset that you believe it. But it's just as easy to believe otherwise. And ain't nobody can take away your power without your permission. So do whatever it is you need to do to remember that. And life will be a lot fucking better.
I don't know why you aren't a huge superstar on sitcoms and movies. You're just so marketable and
I mean,
so
I would love
funny.
that. If you know a
You gotta
name,
get
I would love.
You have to get discovered.
I'm waiting. Discover
The
me.
rest of all the chick flicks that are out there. You put all those chick flick women out to shame.
Oh, I would love to. I mean, if I would play any role that Melissa McCarthy has played. You know what I mean? Like she is she's great.
I can see you as a leading lady in a romantic comedy.
Oh, Sean. I mean, hey, if you're producing something, like keep me in mind.
Sometimes bookers and agents and my agent makes films, so he watches some of these. So I'll post, this girl needs to be in a romantic comedy.
I'll go for cheap Canada labor. Just
absolutely. I think you're a delight. Thank you so much for coming on to Comic Spot today.
Thank you for having me, Linda.
When Tara comes back down to visit, she better bring you.
I will definitely be there with bells on and snow pants.
You're making my day.
Likewise, Linda.
See you later.
See you.
Bye. Bye.